Welcome to this episode of Vision India 2030 Virtual Ideasfest. In today's episode, we will feature some of the best brands and business leaders. Hold tight for this exciting episode of Ideasfest. India, a land of 1.4 billion people. A land that is as diverse as its people. India today stands for modernization from cultural cross-shapes, industrialization from conventional thought processes, and a big boost in the economy in the current times. A new generation of Indian entrepreneurs, billionaires and capitalists, driving the country forward as world's fastest growing economy. Just as the pace was set for India to be one of the strongest economies globally, the COVID pandemic created a severe havoc. We have gone few years back financially. No doubt that we have been hit. But a great nation fights back, and so is India. Backed by a robust government and overall great zeal, Indian businesses and entrepreneurs are fighting back. India's economy is on track to rebound sharply after two waves of the COVID-19 pandemic dampened growth during all 4 quarters of FY21. India's economy has been recovering rapidly after 2 waves of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. The country's economy is also poised to grow at the world's fastest rate. But has it gained immunity against COVID-induced disruptions? We salute businesses and business owners for this dramatic fight back. A nation is one, getting back to track. A nation poised to be world's strongest economy by 2030. Our keynote speaker of today is one of India's leading advertising stalwart, Rohit Ohri. Rohit Ohri is the CEO of FCB India and is regarded as one of the best marketing minds in the country.
Strategies for a post-COVID world. I'm supposed to talk to you about that. Quite honestly, I don't know where to start because this is a black swan event and there isn't a playbook that one could kind of refer to and say, here are the top 5 or 6 things that one needs to do, in the face of this crisis. So the way we're looking at 2021 at FCB India is really to simplify the complexity, because when the situation is so unpredictable and so complex and so uncertain, I think a simple but clear strategy is perhaps the most important. And they say, in times of crisis, go back to what the agency has been created for. And our whole vision and mission has really been to put creative excellence at the center of everything that we do. And that's something that we want to kind of go back to and say that, that is going to be the heart of everything that we do going forward, really. Because while there is a lot of uncertainty, a lot of complexity all around us, I think it is very important in this kind of a situation not to get distracted from the very raison d'etre of a creative agency is the product that it manufactures, the advertising, the communication, the connections that it creates with consumers. So very clearly, top of our list is really to focus on creativity and to keep creative excellence at the center of everything we do. In times of crisis, actually, creativity is really what gives brands, the edge in the market. And I think creativity is even more valuable at this point in time. The other thing that we have really, looking at very, very closely is really this whole reinvention piece. And what we're saying is that it's very important in this construct for the agency to reinvent its business model, to reinvent the way it does business, to reinvent the way it thinks about communication for brands. So everything needs to be thought about again, because we're seeing a lot of challenges across the ecosystem, in the brand world, because retail is really something that is challenged. So what is it that we can reinvent in retail? Very, very important. What is it that we can reinvent in brand experiences? Because brand experiences that were physically created, were created offline, today need to be recreated online. And that becomes a critical new skill. So this whole thing about reinventing and learning these new skills that are very important in this phase are critical. So reinventing the business model, reinventing the talent base and the way we work, because I think it's very hard for us to as a creative agency bring all these talents within the agency's remit. So it's an interesting way to look at, open sourcing, collaborating with the best in the market, and working the way, new age companies need to work, really about keeping collaboration and, the end goal, which is brand success, at the center of everything, and then working behind that. So that's the second piece, which is around reinvention. And the third piece is really about, keeping a sharp focus on people and culture, because I think in this whole situation that has emerged, where work from home is really the primary place that we're working, a lot of the interaction between people has actually been challenged. And for creative agencies especially, this has been the lifeblood of the creation process. And I think that's something that we've seen a big challenge in. And it's important for, the creative agencies to really look at how they recreate those experiences of brainstorming, problem solving, working together, collaborating, and building ideas to greatness is really something that agencies need to remodel and rework their internal systems and, come up with ways of, building and filling those gaps. And culture, that's the other big piece. Regardless of creative agencies, is something that every organization needs to, make sure that they're continuously building the organizational culture, even though, there isn't a direct interaction with other members of the organization, because culture finally is not in the walls of an office or a company or a building. It really is lives in the people and the leadership, and it's about behavior of the organization. So that needs to be replicated as well. And I think strategies around that are really, really critical. And finally, if you look at it, what has really, really impacted relationships at this point of time, where we're looking at isolation and we're looking at social distancing, is really humanity. And I think brands need to channel the human face, that they have even more than ever before. So humanizing the experience of the brand world, humanizing the face of the brand, right? So that becomes a big opportunity really for brands. And I think these are the core strategies that we are looking at for 2021 in how we talk to consumers, how we build the organization internally, how we build our brands.
Selected as India's most trusted brand 2021, Fenesta is a world-class doors and windows brand from India that has held its leadership position with integrity, customer centricity and innovations. Both windows and doors have evolved to a new level unheard of. Today they are not just functional objects but have gone beyond to become a mirror of one's taste, aesthetics, safety and security. Fenesta, India's #1 windows and doors brand, has played a big role to bring about this welcome change. Since its inception, Fenesta has been actively contributing to save the environment by replacing traditional wooden windows and doors frames with UPVC and aluminium. In the last 18 years it has manufactured and installed over 25 lakh windows, serving more than 3 lakh homes and scores of hotels, hospitals, factories, showrooms and institutions, and is present in over 350 cities across India and international markets. Fenesta today looks back with a lot of pride and humility. The pride of changing the category, forever, and humility of enhancing the lifestyles of millions of people across the subcontinent. Fenesta's vision is to improve the lives and homes of customers through innovation and excellence and be the brand leader in customized building solutions.
This year, Fenesta turns 18. It is a momentous year for us. When we look back, we can't help but say, oh, what a journey it has been. We started out to create a new category and make people's life better. When we look ahead, we see the immense possibilities as milestone and we are excited to get there. Fenesta's journey of 18 initial years have been challenging but fulfilling, and from just a window solution in 2002, we are now a super brand for the 4th consecutive year. जब मैं इन 18 सालों को देखता हूँ तो एक चीज़ मुझे बहुत ही कंसिस्टेंट दिखती है और वो है हमारा कमिटमेंट, चाहे वो इनोवेशन के लिए हो, क्वालिटी के लिए हो या फिर अनमैच्ड कस्टमर सर्विस के लिए. I convey my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to all our customers, architects and channel partners as well as to all our suppliers. I would also like to thank all our employees, the Fenestas, who with their hard work and determination have made this possible. Fenesta, India's largest windows and doors brand, is a part of the trusted 132-year-old DCM Shriram Group. Fenesta specializes in design, manufacturing, installation and service of precision engineered 100% customized windows and doors. Fenesta एक बहुत ही हाईली प्रोसेस ड्रिवन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है. स्ट्रॉन्ग सिस्टम्स एंड वर्क एथिक्स हमारे कल्चर का पार्ट है. इन द लास्ट 18 years, we have installed over 2.5 million windows and serviced over 3 lakh customers. During last year, we opened 31 new showrooms across the country to enhance our reach. We further plan to open new showrooms and expand our channel pan-India and in international markets. Currently, we have 230 channel partners and we service more than 350 cities in the country and internationally. Having reached this milestone, we are now poised for a huge leap in our growth. Our journey began with UPVC windows and doors, and today we have already forayed into high-end aluminium and internal doors. With the positive response that we have received, we are increasing the portfolio offerings in all our product segments. Capacity expansion at our fabrication units are also on the cards to ensure smooth supplies across all the geographies. With a strong market foothold and determination for facing newer challenges, I believe that Finistar will create even newer benchmarks in this building material industry and will continue to remain the first and most preferred choice for our consumers.
कई बार जिस प्रोडक्ट में हम नहीं होते हैं एज ए लेमैन, जैसे अगर मुझे आज कोई बाइक खरीदनी है, गाड़ी खरीदनी है जिसके बारे में हमें ज्ञान नहीं है, तो बड़ा ही मुश्किल काम होता है एक राइट प्रोडक्ट चूज़ करने के लिए। सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट पैरामीटर जो मैं समझ पा रहा हूँ और जो मैं कोशिश करूँगा समझाने की, कि कोई भी चीज़ आप खरीद रहे हैं तो उसकी कॉस्ट जो है आप इंस्टेंट कॉस्ट में देखिए। इट्स नॉट लाइक इस प्रोडक्ट का कॉस्ट वर्सेस दूसरे प्रोडक्ट का कॉस्ट में फ़र्क कितना है। आप उसकी ओनरशिप कॉस्ट देखिए कि अगर मान लीजिए आप एक घर बना रहे हैं जो अगले 15 साल, 20 साल, 30 साल तक आप यूज़ करना चाह रहे हैं, तो मुझे नहीं लगता आप उसकी दीवारें चेंज करेंगे या उसके कॉलम्स चेंज करेंगे या उसकी खिड़कियाँ चेंज करेंगे। तो खिड़कियों को भी उतनी ही अहमियत देनी चाहिए जितने कि आप उसके स्ट्रक्चर्स को देते हैं। अगर कोई प्रोडक्ट आपके सिस्टम में उस लाइफ टाइम को सर्विस कर सकता है तो आई थिंक दैट इज़ द फर्स्ट कंसिडरेशन यू शुड हैव। तो उस चीज़ का क्या फ़ायदा है जो आप लेते ही बदलते हो, उसका कॉस्ट कुछ भी रहा हो, आपने उस पर एक एडिशनल कॉस्ट लगाया और उस कॉस्ट को भी अगर आपने सस्टेन नहीं कर पाए, अगले 5 साल में या 6 साल 10 साल में अगर आप रिप्लेस करना पड़ता है बिकॉज उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है, तो आई थिंक दैट इज द फर्स्ट कंसिडरेशन टू लुक टू पुट योर मनी इन अ प्लेस वेयर इट कैन गिव यू रिटर्न ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम रादर देन रिप्लेसिंग इट ओवर 5, 10, 15 years.
Customer centricity for us is a core value. Our biggest asset continues to be the testimonials of satisfied customers. We have created an ecosystem of influencers, opinion leaders and customers. Our endeavor has been always to focus on conversation around the brand experiences. It gives us valuable insight and an opportunity to further improve the experience of our customers. The experience centers of Finistar are a first in the industry where a prospective customer can touch and feel the product before making a purchase decision. We have always been a brand who believes in staying ahead of the curve. Our brand communication also has been truthful and transparent since we understand the problems that the Indian consumers face and how our products provide solutions to these problems very effectively. The recent campaign Keep the Outside Outside Forever also reflects the commitment to being precise with our product attributes. The campaign was launched digitally first and then rolled out on print, out of home and the other mediums. A film was made as part of the campaign in which common problems of every household were highlighted beautifully through a light-hearted storyline. To signify the good work that we have been doing with our consumers and helping them make their lives better and their lifestyles, we are considered to be the most preferred and trusted brand by our customers. This is also signified by the fact that we have won several industry awards in the building material segment. With continuous innovation to expand means and ways to reach more, engage more and influence more, our ecosystem is quite robust and evolved. We endeavor to make it more futuristic while adding newer technologies to solve customers' problems and make their experience delightful.
Selected as India's most trusted CEO 2021 by WCRC Leaders, Vineet Sahni, Group CEO of Lumax and the Jain Group, is a visionary leader who leads from the front, creating aspirational growth targets and adaptability to changes.
So, brand Lumax basically is our brand that you're talking about, the Lumax brand.
That's right.
Yeah. So this brand, if you understand, has a lot of legacy to it. We are a 75-year-old brand, and it has evolved over the times. And of late, couple of years, around 3 years ago, we did a rebranding and brought a lot of meaning to the brand in terms of our value systems, which reads on, we call it RIPE, RIPE, which is respect, integrity, passion, and excellence. So they are the most important seeds for our organization. So our organization will behave very differently to similar circumstances based on the value system that we have been able to inculcate in the organization. We have also put the propeller wheel on our brand, which symbolizes the passion, dynamism, and the confidence to move ahead. So that is the passion that we have brought into the team, and a vision where we need to go in future. So lot of work has gone into brand, and people have started believing into that, which we can see in our interactions with our stakeholders. For example, we have investors, we have board members, we have our partners. So there's a lot of a relationship of trust on the organization, and that is the value of brand we feel we have to get in. Abhimanyu, you are so very right, and you echo my feeling. Just before I come to your, answer your question, I would like to say that I am absolutely open for people to visit our factory as well, because I strongly feel people can see, copy, but they cannot copy the basic ethos and the value and the people that of an organization. They can just copy machines or a process, but the basic value system cannot be copied, because first of all, it doesn't happen in a day. It evolves over a long period of time. That is very important. Second, the value system is a reflection of the leadership mind of the organization.
Yeah.
And that is not copyable. You can't copy that, because leadership is unique to an organization.
Absolutely.
So if people can't copy our values, neither can we copy anybody else's value. Each organization is unique. And over the years, the impression or the reflection of the leadership thoughts and the leadership mind, and the way situations have been handled time and again in a consistent manner, that makes the value very deep rooted in the organization. And we very strongly believe that any employee, when he deals with any of the stakeholders, internal or external, he exudes and reflects those values in some form or the other. Having said that, value departures do take place. And as leaders, we make it a point to correct them, so that there is another message in the organization that these things are not acceptable, and these are the values which are to be followed in the organization.
Absolutely.
So first of all, the realization that I need to drive the value system, and I would say that I understand that and I realize that, because the values are top driven. So the leadership has to believe that they are the custodians of the value. So that's a very important statement that I want to make. Our values, as I said, are in 4 aspects, RIPE. And first and the main aspect is the respect. We all as human beings, whether it is internal to the organization or external to the organization, irrespective of the position, caste, creed, color, because we have a lot of international employees as well, and we have many partners, European partners, Japanese partners. The respect for an individual is the key. And that is the starting point of the trust that you need to develop in future. So in any of the dealing, the respect for an individual is extremely important, and it is the demonstration by the leadership about how they treat individuals, stakeholders, irrespective of their positions in the society. That drives the value in the organization, the value of respect. Second important value is the integrity. If you take care of people, if you take care of stakeholders, the minimum that we expect is the integrity in any of the person. And for that, just to speak about integrity is not important. It is to demonstrate, plus handle the departures in the right way. And I am very particular in using the right way. We need not be abrasive. We need not be, aggressive into handling departures, but we can be fair and, tough to handle that, right, in a proper way. And the communication with people on the integrity is very important. Integrity has to be rewarded. So through a positive culture, we tend to inculcate the value of integrity. And we actually sometimes educate people what exactly we mean by integrity. Because there are very fine lines in the system. So you need to define so that there is no confusion in their mind whether they are making an error on either side. So we tend to train them that this is what we call the gray area, this is what is not acceptable, and this is what is acceptable, so that people can take decisions confidently. So that's the second value that we drive, that is integrity. Third value that we drive is passion. And we strongly feel that performance and everything is fine, but person has to have passion. And he may fail. Organization that way provides opportunities to people to fail also, because that is their learning platform. But we need people with a lot of passion in them so that they are able to propel the organization to the vision that we have set for them. So third important value is passion. Unfortunately, we are unable to measure these things, and that's why they are called value. But passion in an organization is very important. And I can give you an example. It's important to understand what I mean by that. Several years ago, around 5 years ago, our operating members were not even participating in Indian competition of quality circles. So we took a decision to make them ready. Now, these people, they could not speak proper English at that point of time. But the passion in them, we had to write English in Hindi for them, which they practiced very hard. And I want to tell you, so hard that they won the international quality circle competition where 42 countries were participating.
Okay, that's great.
So that is the passion which I could see, and that gives a lot of satisfaction. So passion in the people who taught them, and passion in the people who learned. So it was an exhilarating experience to see those people who could not speak 5 years ago winning an international competition against 42 countries and bring that trophy back home. So that is the third value that I am talking of, that is passion. And fourth value that we often talk is excellence. Okay. It's very important that whatever we do it with excellence. If we don't know, we'll ask and learn. But whatever we deliver, whether it is timelines or a product quality or a committed date, we have to do it with excellence. So Abhimanyu, I will give the last statement first. I am a very satisfied leader today for having handled COVID in our company in the right way.
Okay.
And this is the feedback of my people. This is the feedback of my stakeholders. And this is also the feedback of external agencies.
Okay.
And I want to tell you what we did, some of the key points. First of all, when COVID struck, it was end of Feb, right, in 2019, right?
Yeah.
2020, end Feb. And just at that time, we had finished with Auto Expo. And Auto Expo was absolutely normal. We were hugging each other, shaking hands and enjoying. And, this was the second week of Feb. But come March and COVID struck, right? At that point of time, knowing the gravity of situation, handling people and people's sentiments was the key. right? Because business had come to a standstill. And at that time, we did not know how much time it is going to take to revive that business. When will it come back? We did not know that. The first decision I took was to have a town hall at that point of time, and with the leap of faith announce that nobody is going to lose his job. Nobody. Neither the peon, nor the driver, nor the worker, nor the staff, nobody. That's point number one. Second, I asked them to support the organization. We said that we may have to take certain cuts to make organization running. But nobody is going out. Cuts could go deeper and deeper, and I want to start with the cut myself first.
Okay.
So it had to be demonstrated, and I am very clear. I took 50% salary cut to start with, straight away. And of course, it was graded down to the last level. And I am very happy to inform, to discuss with you that normally people shy in discussing these matters with union, that they will not agree. We have 12 unions in the group, and I spoke to each of the unions on Zoom. And trust me, everybody supported my call. And this is very unique. No other company, to my knowledge, in our segment could do that. And on my request, they took 20% cut for that quarter. So with this, that gives you more confidence that your people are with you and they have trust. So when you see leadership could be of different styles and may matter different to different people, because each leader is different actually. But certain traits are common. Certain traits are very much common. The first and foremost trait I would say is approach of finding solution. Never say never types. It's like, what do I do? What should I do? And that question you have to keep asking yourself. It's like a simple cycle of now, next, and new. Whatever is you are doing now, what should I do next? What's new I should do so that I find solution to this riddle? Because as a leader, you will always be handling situations where the solution is not evident. It is not visible. It is not 2 + 2 = 4. Because anybody else would have solved it. You will always be subjected to the situation where you have to use your instinct, your experience, your passion, and the risk. And be responsible for that. So these ingredients are very important. And then owning that decision. If you start copying, you can never be leader. A leader's instinct have to guide him. And that is the key.
Okay, it was great talking to you, Mr. Sahni. For the viewers, we had with us Mr. Vineet Sahni, Group CEO of Jain Group, one of the largest groups in the country, and he's also the CEO of the brand Lumax. You heard him, that as a leader, you have to be passionate, risk-taking, responsible for your actions, and take all necessary actions at the right time with the right solutions. As a group's value, he holds the values of right, which is respect, integrity, passion, and excellence. And these are the core values that not just drive the group, but also core values that drive any individual to success. You add up integrity with passion and excellence at work, and you will draw respect from your customers, from your shareholders, from your stakeholders, from your subordinates, and your management. That's the key essence of the group, and these are the group essence that Mr. Sahni has been following very dynamically, that makes him one of India's most trusted CEOs. Thank you, Mr. Sahni, for joining us. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Jaya Vaidhyanathan of VCT Digital is inspiring confidence, trust and excellence through stellar leadership skills and led from the front philosophy.
only be a leader when you have it, when you can inspire others to follow you. So leadership is more a thought. Leadership is an action. I would call it a verb rather than leader as a strong leader as more a noun. So I think it's more the act of inspiring others to follow, the act of having a dream that's large enough that inspires others to follow makes you a very strong leader. So with that comes a set of rules of thumb that you must follow to be a great leader. Yeah. It's more one, the ability to set a vision, the ability to inspire trust, the ability to kind of show the way or pave a path to a better future. So that includes personal integrity, ethics. It includes all of that without saying. But it's more, the act of having an inspiration or a dream that's big enough and the ability to pave the path that I would say is a mark of a great leader.
Mm-hmm. An accomplishment of yours that you consider very significant in your career?
I think I would go with whatever is current, though I would love to say my masterpiece is yet to come. I think the current role, what I'm doing, which is to build a large fintech play, which goes much beyond the realm of user experience to the core of transformation in the mid office and the back office of the the fintech world. I think would be my most passionate accomplishment, I could call it, as yet. And the reason is manifold. The reason is not just because we're doing very well on a revenue or a profitability or EBITDA or an ARR basis. The reason is the business was built with a mission, and that is to transform India as a product innovation hub. We started 7 years ago, much before it became a common place to call make it local, take it global. So we started with the mantra of saying make it local, take it global. Okay. And the business was built with a vision of saying, let's do something to transform India from a services mindset to a products mindset, because that is something that says, tell me what to do, to saying this is what you need. So that's a transformation in terms of the mindset at large. So if you look at it in terms of the business impact, I think the fulcrum of India's economy is our banking system, which has traditionally been trust inspiring, as in you would say, if I put my money in a public sector institution, it's safe. Right? That's what I call as a custodian of trust. Yeah. Of late, there has been a lot of scams. There's been a lot of loan frauds. There's been a lot of non-performing assets in our banking system. And that has caused the trust to erode because that's your taxpayer money. So one of the things that we built as part of our fintech ecosystem was to address the systemic issues of NPAs, among others. So I'm probably going to talk about one business to just give you why I think this is a significant accomplishment, not only for me or my company, but for India at large. And that comes from the business impact story. So let's take a bank, a typical bank of an asset size of 50 billion. NPA is at 10%, which puts 5 billion at stake, right? And if you just put a system in place, I'm not even saying the most effective system, or I'm not saying anything of that sort. It's been proven that if you put a technology system that does straight-through processing of anything, it brings in a reduction of at least 1%, because it shows accountability, it shows traction, and that gives you 500 million back per bank back into our economy. So it's a powerful business impact statement, and that's just tip of the iceberg. So I think that makes it my most significant accomplishment to date. So I would probably talk about external challenges and internal challenges, right? The external challenges comes from what every entrepreneur faces, which is more early adoption. So when I'm saying I'm going to be in a market and I'm going to be following a blue ocean strategy, which is do what the global players are not doing, right? Which is more to focus on our fundamentals of the reasons why we have NPAs, right? So it's a very different problem. So the problem that I'm trying to address, even with, let's say, as an example, an NPA issue, is that globally there are two reasons why NPAs happen. One is the willingness to pay, and second is the ability to pay. Ability to pay is common across countries. The willingness to pay has a cultural mindset behind it, which is the reason for the scams. So when I go and say that I'm going to have a system in place, you're going to have external challenges because it's an early adoption system. One, you need to convince the buyer that he absolutely needs it. And the second is more in terms of exposure, right? It's more to look at a system is going to do what is in a mindset. So there is a barrier in terms of early adoption, obviously. Second is in India, for product companies, there are enormous challenges. First, if you have to work with any public sector unit, you'll have to have a few references that comes from having been there, done that. Whereas a global provider that's done it for some other economy can still come to India and say, hey, listen, I've done it in 3 other places. So a products company, the biggest barrier is to say, how do you bring in references if you're a fresh product entrant into the system? That's a huge barrier. So there were a lot of barriers that we had to overcome in terms of the early adoption. And the second internal, probably I'll pick on a challenge, is it's quite different when I'm recruiting for one of my alma maters, like say, Accenture or a Standard Chartered Bank, because the brand is known. Whereas when you are in a entrepreneurial journey and when you're progressing from a sort of startup to scale, people, you recruit co-workers, you don't recruit employees. So all of them are joining because they see what you see in terms of your dream. They see what you see in terms of a vision. They see what you see in terms of a passion. So all of that is what they join you for. And therefore, you need to inspire trust. You're a custodian of trust in terms of their lives, in terms of careers, in terms of where you take the roadmap to. So there are significant challenges in the way you recruit as well. I think, like I mentioned earlier, the biggest trait of a leader is the ability to see a dream, visualize it, translate that into clear working path. Because a leader, to me, I mean, that's what I have followed is, I often quote Robert Frost on it. It's the road less traveled, because you're taking a road less traveled by, and therefore you are taking risks. And the ability to take risks along with an understanding of what the risk is and what the reward is, I think is a mark of a leader. Second is the ability to set the vision straight and to create a path which makes it easier for others to travel. And therefore, you're a leader and somebody else follows it, and it's much easier for them to follow that path. I mentioned this again, it's the ability to recruit co-workers versus employees. And I would also say it's more important to not only in COVID times, especially to focus on yourself, which is more focus on your health, because unless you're healthy and, and health goes in all facets, healthy profitability, a healthy personal self, a healthy co-worker network, and the ability to kind of inspire on all fronts, just not on a work path. So integrity and ethics is really important. I think unless you're innovative, you're not in business. Unless you learn something new every day, you're no longer in business. I think it's no longer, you can't be even a successful employee if you're not innovative. So forget being a leader. A leader needs to rise above that and inspire others to follow. And unless it's a completely new or something that's highly innovative, something that's creative, something that makes you think out of the box, people are not going to be inspired. Otherwise, it just becomes rote, do the same job every day, for which you don't really need a leader, right? You just need somebody that manages people who do the job. So I think that itself makes, you can't be in business if you're not innovative. It simply cannot happen these days. So I don't think you can separate the two.
Okay, so we had with us Jaya Vaidhyanathan. She's an extremely successful entrepreneur. You heard her speak, and the mantra is that, the step of a great leader, an inspirational leader, starts with dreaming big. And then, of course, you have to generate constant trust with your shareholders, with your employees, maintain the right balance in your life. Because, as Jaya put it, unless until you're happy, you will not make it big either in your personal life or professional life. Create that balance, take care of your health, because health is God. If you have health, you will work well as well. And to keep your employees happy, you need to be a healthy, happy person and drive things forward.
Selected as the most promising leader by WCRC Leaders, Abhinav Arora of Eureka Outsourcing Solutions believes in being humble and building strong human connections as the core factors of success.
See, I think, to be honest with you, this has to become a new norm now. Maybe this COVID ends up, it keeps on cropping up, it becomes a part of our lives in future. Nobody knows what's there in future for all of us. So what is there in our hands is to cope up and create an ecosystem which is in and around this problem. And that's what we actually realized is pretty early. And since April 2020, when the peak was starting, the first peak was starting, we started working upon it. While it's a very normal phenomena these days that the companies are promoting work from home, etc. But at the same time, what we started doing is work towards complete digital solutions that we should be providing to our end customers and to our clientele. you know uh, in the entire last 14 months, we have not actually let any service of any client or a performance of any client get impacted due to this COVID or this unconventional time. So the future is all in the hands of technology now. The future will move from a BPM centric approach or a call center centric approach to a solution driven approach, which is lied in our DNAs, and we've always projected ourselves and positioned ourselves as a business solution provider. So that's the reason EOS as an organization, in fact, grew by close to 82% in last COVID time as well. See, as I said, I don't go to the clients for any kind of a specific service. I go to the clients and talk to them about their pain areas. I talk to them about what do they see in their strategic vision, which they want their own brand to be positioned at. And I create, along with my team, if I have to say, I means the entire EOS functionary, we create a solution around that requirement. We do not envisage any kind of a contact center. We do not envisage only a technology solution, but we always create a business solution which would provide a good amount of element of consulting, a good amount of element of technology intervention, and a good amount of equal intervention of human resources. See, I think training forms the base of the entire business model of any BPM industry. It does the same for us as well. The training starts from when the person is coming on board, which is more of a organization level training on the code of conduct, ethics, values, policies, and then correct, and then moves towards the specific process driven training which they have to undergo. So in our kind of an outsourcing environment, there are multiple clients and there are multiple people that are hired for those specific processes. So while there is an organization level training which is common for every employee and at every level they have to undergo, but at the same time, then post that training they have to get into a process level training, which is again very structured. There's a very set pattern of conducting those trainings. They are backed up by toll gates. They are backed up by certification methods which are agreed with our clients. But what is a USP of this organization is that majority of our trainings are conducted through our e-learning tool, which in a normal scenario, if I have to make you understand, our organization level trainings, the people do not have to come to office in during these COVID times. These are trainings that they have to log in into our URL, and those trainings they can log in by their own respective login passwords, and then they undergo proper toll gates. They cannot skip those. They are very interactive ones. And from a perspective of product also or a process also, we've enabled our trainings to create a complete animated modules or interactive modules which are requiring less of their human intervention and more of a self training kind of a module that they have to undergo, that the people have to undergo, and they move ahead with that.
Okay, great.
It's a very structured method, right from induction to the bringing on board for the process. And with when they're working in the process, every month they go through various kind of trainings which are very specific to their line of work. See, I think today I'm working on the future of this organization. I'm working on the future of this industry particularly. So my, majority of my time is spent with technology. Majority of my time is spent in creating products which are top of the line products and which reduce a human dependency of a mundane task. We've just launched another company of ours, which is Eureka Digitization and Automation Services, where our signature product lies with, while we're working on a complete CX experience there, the signature product Vani is one of the finest dialers in the industry. And it's not me who's saying it, it's the users who are using that are saying that. It comprises of the best of the reporting engines. It comprises of best of the governance tools with respect to quality, with respect to productivity of their manpower, and is applicable to every industry and every line of work. It's not a particular dialer kind of a thing. There's a e-learning tool that we have. There are HRMS tools that we have, human resource tools that we've created. So what I'm working today is towards building up a formidable solution provider approach of this organization. And that's the reason my biggest time is actually spent in technology. As an entrepreneur, the biggest thing that somebody has to do is be on top of the situation. It's a very unconventional time going on, and we don't know how far this is going to lead us. So it is very, very important to be on top of the situation. Make your hands dirty yourself, while trusting that people. I'm not saying that you should not trust people, but yeah, there has to be a right governance method that we have to deploy. Uh, the approach now over a period of time will now move towards a bottom line centric approach where uh, top line only will not be a motivator for any business to grow or any investors to be attracted. It has to be a bottom line centric approach where the companies do not face crisis situations during unconventional times. It has to be very futuristic in nature. You cannot have a closed-minded approach of living with a strength that you carry today. You have to keep unleashing and reinventing your strengths in the business, restructuring your businesses according to the times that are there. That's these are the basic traits that I see. Uh, and I think not from an entrepreneurial perspective, I'm saying, but as an individual and a professional, I would say it's a time of madness. It's a time of unconventional thought processes. You cannot live with the conventional thought processes anymore. you'll have to find out solutions which are very unconventional in nature, yet bringing a lot of value to your customers and business.
Yeah. It was great talking to you, Abhinav. For the viewers, we have had with us today Abhinav Arora, CEO and Director at the Eureka Outsourcing Solutions. You heard it that how he started as a telemarketing company and turned it around into one of India's most successful BPO consulting companies today. The vision becomes the most important thing, the strategic perspective of the CEO. But it's most important. It's more important that you know how to implement it. And to implement that, you heard that you have to be at the top of the game. Most importantly, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, you have to think very unconventional today. And Abhinav has been doing that. And he's a true example of a great Indian entrepreneur who has been driving his company to great successes. Thanks a lot, Abhinav, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Selected as Asia's most trusted brand from India in healthcare, Renova Hospitals has become a trusted choice of hospitals delivering high-quality care and unparalleled patient experience.
See, the main idea of starting Renova Hospitals is because I felt there is a lot of gap to serve mid-level population of India. There are huge corporate hospitals which are available across India in the metros. But if you look at peripheries of the cities, you don't find proper facilities there, because of which people living in the peripheries, people living in the rural areas have to travel kilometers together to come to the main cities and spend a lot of money in terms of treatment. So this is where I thought I should start a mid-level multi-speciality brand in the peripheries of the cities, to start with Hyderabad and then replicate the same thing across India, wherein people will get best quality treatment at the nearest possible doorstep. The reason why the peripheries don't have good hospitals is because most of the peripheries have nursing homes, and these nursing homes are not well equipped in terms of infrastructure, equipment. And once you don't have good infrastructure and equipment, you will not be able to attract good doctors. So therefore, these people are forced to travel to the main parts of the cities, business hubs of the cities, and spend a lot of time, lot of money in terms of their medical treatment. So to talk about the value, see, I feel it's right of every human being, every Indian, to get healthcare facility at an affordable cost, at nearest possible space. I mean, if there's a heart attack, for example, we should not force people to travel for 2 hours, during which they will lose the golden hour, and then the treatment outcome completely changes. So therefore, I thought I'll create a chain where the treatment comes at a very affordable cost, at nearest to the doorsteps, and high quality care is provided. So this is the basic idea with which we started Renova Hospitals 2 years back. But then now we are expanding ourselves into oncology also, which is again a very painful area in terms of disease. Oncology being growing year on year, leaps and bounds. So what I've again found in oncology also is that the treatment cost has become very costly, because the technology, the capital cost to start any oncology hospital is very high. The technology has to be imported, the Lumax, the PET CTs, all these equipment have to be imported, and then therefore the load on the treatment is becoming very high for the patient. And also I felt there's a lot of exploitation in terms of treatment, because oncology is one disease where patients are coming with a preset mindset that patient is going to not survive for long, so they're open to spend lakhs of rupees, and that's where I felt they are being exploited. Therefore, I'm trying to pull up a few oncologists who are service oriented, and then trying to bring them under one platform of Renova, and then create a platform for the general public to get oncology treatment at a very affordable cost. So our first center under oncology is starting in November in Hyderabad, and we have plans to start centers in Jaipur, Allahabad. We are trying to cater to North more now going forward, because in North there is huge supply-demand gap in terms of oncology. So this is briefly how we are planning to go about with Renova. As I explained to you, I want to position this brand as a brand which is available to the normal public. See, if, for example, the huge brand, as you rightly said, there are a lot of corporate hospitals, huge brands that are available in India. But then again, these hospitals are again clustered in major cities, because that is where the whole the pie of the business comes from. But they have not concentrated, as I said. If I in my two models, where one is mid-level multi-specialty, the second one is oncology. Under mid-level multi-specialty, these huge brands have not concentrated in peripheries, because that is not hugely viable. See, there are different ways of looking at viability. One is you break even and then you make little profit, and the other one is you want to make huge profit. So most of the people go for the second model. Therefore, they don't concentrate on areas where they feel it's not economically extremely viable. They are viable, but not extremely viable. So my positioning would be for mid-level multi-specialties to reach to the areas where these corporate hospitals have not reached. And also for oncology, if you see, as I said, in the north, for example, if you take Bihar, a state like Bihar, where 12 crore population is there, you don't find one specialty oncology center in Bihar, because the economic strata of the people there is comparatively less than maybe cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi. So I don't want to get myself into that complete commercial angle, where I will only focus on starting these hospitals in the areas which are hugely viable. I am looking at a very mid-level model, where in oncology, for example, I don't need to spend 100 CR on a 100 bed facility. My model will be about 50-60 CR, and I'll start a 100-bed facility in a place like Patna, in a place like Allahabad. So these are the areas where I want to concentrate, where people don't have basic oncology facility available next door. So my positioning would be to go to those places, those cities, where big corporate hospitals don't want to go because of viability reasons. See, there are two things here, Mr. Abhinav. That one is, when it comes to infrastructure, a lot of once you're a brand, once you're a big brand, once you are into that A+ league competition, you want to make a huge statement in terms of creating unnecessary infrastructure. See, healthcare infrastructure is completely different. It need not be like a 5-star hotel. The design part should be neat. The design part should be clean, and the design part should be in such a way that it's lookable. I mean, it need not be very high end. So this is where a lot of hospitals. See, I have been in this industry for last 22 years, and I am one of the rare non-medical administrator who created 2-3 brands and successfully made them successful. So I don't practice as a practitioner. So I have come from grassroots level, where I understand A to Z of hospital infrastructure and hospital operations. So for example, if I go and tell somebody that I can construct a oncology hospital of 1 lakh square feet with 125 beds at a 50 crore bracket, it's not possible for people to believe. But that's what I am aiming at. For example, I don't want to name a brand, but one of the hospitals in Bangalore recently has started an oncology hospital of 100 bedded at 150 crore. So when you put in that kind of money, then obviously you'll not be able to reach the masses. You need to only cater to the cream of the society and who are able to pay. But I have designed such models in terms of construction that I'll be able to make a very good product in half the cost of normally what other hospitals are spending. That is infrastructure part. Coming to technology also. See, for example, if you take a linear accelerator for which is one of the costliest investment in oncology. Like for example, you can go in a BMW 1 Series and reach the destination, and also you can go in a BMW 7 Series. So basically, the point is to start and go to the destination and reach your place. But the fancy is different. The luxury is different. So what I'm looking at is I am looking at putting up such equipment which definitely cater to the need of the treatment. I'm not, for example, a patient has to be treated on everyday radiation. It takes 3 minutes. Maybe this fancy equipment might do it in 2.5 minutes. But but for that half minute, because you have to compete with everyone and say I have an equipment which treats radiation at the fastest time possible in the city, you're spending another 10 crores on that, which doesn't make any sense. A common man, for example, would spend 2 lakhs less to stay there 30 seconds extra on the machine than paying 2 lakhs more to finish his treatment 30 seconds less. So these are the kind of models I was able to create because of my exposure into specifically oncology. I have been working since 2002 and I have created 2 brands in Hyderabad, and this is the 3rd brand. So I have designed that mid-level multi-specialty model very feasibly without compromising on the quality of the treatment.
So any plans of making the brand go global?
Yes, I do have. See, we first want to establish, as I said, south part of India is highly covered in terms of oncology. Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Kerala, all these places are completely covered, because if you look at the top 3 brands in oncology, all of them have come from south. 2 brands have come from Hyderabad, one brand has come from Bangalore. So therefore, these areas are completely covered, but north is completely untouched. Therefore, I first want to finish the coverage in our own country. I want to have at least one center in every, like I'm doing one in Jaipur, one in Allahabad. Both have been signed. Patna is very close to signing off. So I want to first cover the entire northern part. Northeast is also uncovered. Maybe it will take another 4-5 years for me to do all these things, and then have plan to go global.
Selected as an inspirational leader in the category of food, Anshu Goel of Devdutt Exports is adding new dimension with her brand D Nature Fresh.
Mission of Devdutt Exports is that Minar's spices shall be the part of each and every kitchen. From I think spices is one thing. It is synonymous with the Indian housewife and Indian homemaking. Spices is the integral part of our life. So the whole idea is to diversify it. The whole idea is to incorporate more modern techniques. The whole idea is to authenticate the brand in terms of making people aware that why to pop a pill when you have a food to eat. So now Minar is overgrowing in terms of creating new blends where we can have those authentic recipes of what our dadis and nani ma ke nuske used to give it to us, and keeping it in the format, and we are putting it in a jar, and now we are bringing it to the people that you can have the similar thing. And in this pandemic, we all have learned one thing, that food is one thing that that kept us going. Food is one thing that will bring out in terms of immunity, or in terms of bringing up our health. So I'm sure that Minar, with its new ideas, with its new innovatives, and with the efforts of the team, our food technologist, our our sorting team, grading team, our quality team. So with the help of the entire team, we'll bring further. And yes, Minar is also focusing on women empowerment. So we have the manpower of more than 250 people, where we have employed more than 200 with us, 200 of women with us. So this is also one of the mission, and we would want to cut the middlemen buying, in terms of like we would want to procure directly from the farmers, from the region where the crop is coming from. So this is also one of the trend Minar is going to take up in terms of giving back to the community. What I think that we'll be creating the brand awareness in terms of promoting the brands through the social media, through the channels, through all the, we are planning to come soon with the modern trades. We are planning to launch it in the form of, we are planning to join hands with pharmaceuticals, with the hospitals, with the, with the medical team, because these all blends we are bringing up, they are very good in terms of fitness, and the way I said, for the medical industry also. So we'll be joining the hand with the industries, with these kind of industry to bring this brand forward. And yes, we are trying to place it to all the retail stores and the modern trade segment to make the availability of brand much intense.
Okay.
मुझे याद है जब मैं 10 साल की थी और I was associated with a food family. मेरे फादर का काजू का बिजनेस था. काजू का बिजनेस है, वो काजू के किंग के नाम से जाने जाते हैं. तो ये जो फूड है ये डीएनए में दौड़ता है हमारे. And when I married to this family 20 years back, so वहाँ पे पता लगा कि इनके 2 ब्रांड्स हैं, मिनार और डी नेचर फ्रेश. डी नेचर फ्रेश जो ड्राई फ्रूट का ब्रांड है. तो जब मैंने मिनार सोचा तो मैंने एक बार ही पूछा मिनार तो मिनार वाला. So Minar is like, Minar is something which is historical. The brand name is Minar because it is creating a history. 90 साल पुराना ब्रांड है, एक हिस्टोरिकल ब्रांड है. इस ब्रांड से बहुत लोगों के इमोशंस जुड़े हुए हैं. इस ब्रांड से हमारे पूर्वजों की सोच जुड़ी हुई है. So Minar एक अपने आप में एक स्तंभ है. It is I think the founding stone of our entire business. Okay. So I think Minar was the most appropriate name, and this name was given by our forefathers only. So okay. I am just carrying forward the legacy. You're right in saying that the generation is looking for attractive packaging, but what we are focusing more upon is the biodegradable packaging. As this is again one more thing that I want to give it to the community, give it to the world, give it to the universe. That let's go green. So this is one of the thought we introduced some biodegradable cans with the food packaging inside with the which has to be maintained with the food standards, and packaging would be of all we have the packaging from 5 gram till 50 kgs. We have all the variations of the packaging in terms of pouches, in terms of cans, in terms of sprinklers, in terms of jars. So whatever, and we are keeping that in the mind. I being a lady and I being a housewife, once I'm at home. So the packaging which goes most with me, which is most comfortable, as a housewife, you just open the can and just take it out and you just seal it back. You don't have to put it and transfer into any boxes or something. So we are coming up with very kitchen friendly packaging. The packaging which you need not to re-put it or something like that. So keeping, and of course the brand has one tagline since the all natural, all fresh. So we are coming up with something very authentic, back to the roots, something not really fancy. And I think what I am looking for today's generation, and what I am observing is that today's generation is again going back to the roots, and this is what that is making it attractive. So we are not making any attractive packaging. We are trying to source it from all the rural areas. We are trying to source it from not from the so-called fancy packaging people. We are trying to here also the company has a mindset that we will try to incorporate the packaging which can help us in making the brand give the feel what the brand is about. I think first thing when I wake up in the morning that comes in mind is the gratitude. The gratitude for myself, the gratitude for my family, my husband who has given me a lot of support in coming into this business. He has actually taken a bold step according to the entire family that he made me the part of it, and he's letting me do whatever I want to do till date. That's very nice. And he has never, he has never stopped me in bringing any kind of innovations. And yes, the teamwork is very important. My team is more like friends to me, so we always give a lot of lot of freedom in giving their thoughts and taking the outputs from the team, in taking and they say that bouquets and brickbats go hand in hand. So I am more it gives me a lot of pleasure also at times, when you're getting the recognition. Of course it gives you ultimate pleasure, but we are really open when we listen to the advices and the critical comments of the people, and we want to really work upon them as we are selling it all over e-commerce, on Amazon, Flipkart and other models, e-commerce models. So there, when we are getting the feedback from the customer, be it a 100 gram ka packet or be it a bulk order, we always make sure if there is anything missing, we as a team all sit together and we try to improvise, and we try to make sure that next time that our customer is coming back to us with a smile on the face. And so I think customer satisfaction is one thing the entire team and we are working upon. And as I told you earlier also, it's the women empowerment that I always believed in, and then I always believe I not I hope I'm not sounding like a feminist here, but I always believe that women have a special extra, zing inside them. It really brings them, because my whole team has, we have all the age groups in our team from 22 till 40. So they all have their passion, their drive for work, and I think they all believe that Devdutt Exports Bharat is their company. So I think that kind of ideology, if your entire staff, if your company is having, so the company, nobody can stop the growth of the company. So everybody is, we all have innate strength in us. We all have inbuilt strength. It is just to recognize it. And nothing can pull down. Just keep going, keep following your heart. And I think your gut and heart never says wrong. It is just single action you have to take. This is what I took. And this is what I tell it to my team also, and this is the one driving inspiration which just keep me going, that just follow your heart with the purity.
Okay, thank you, Anshu, for being with us. It was such a pleasure talking to you. For the viewers, Anshu is such an inspiration. You heard her saying that she grew up from a total male-dominated market in Delhi 6, India's most messy market, if you want to say. But of course, that's the heart of India as well. That's where businesses start, businesses grow, and things happen. Cultural melting pot of India, Delhi Che, Khari Bauli, Jama Masjid, all these places. Anshu is an inspiration who saw her father, got inspired, got married into the similar kind of business and took up the business as a challenge, and has been driving a very, very successful company and a very, very successful brand with a great vision to take it up all over the nation and internationally. We salute her spirit, and we wish all the best to the brand. Thank you very much, Anshu, for being with us.
Thank you so much, Abhinav, for having me here. Thank you so much.
Selected as Asia's most promising leader, KS Balakrishna Setty is India's fragrance man, equally loved by his consumers and employees.
See here, the company Shrinivas Sugadhalaya BNG itself has become a brand in the market because of strict adherence to quality and customer satisfaction. And to let you know, this company is a 54-year-old company. So after I started this company, I think on 2015. And because of our hard work and quality consciousness and everything, the government of India has also recognized our company. Here, it's like, I want my company and the brand to be seen as a sort of heritage company. And my brand and all the products are all environment friendly. Okay. That means it's without any chemicals, nothing. See, here, according to me, as a leader is like a person who is not afraid of taking any decision. Whether a leader has to take decision for his company and the whole team, and and the whole team. And and see, it's like sometimes he has to take hard decisions. Absolutely. Whether and there is a few employees who won't be happy with that, but still have to go further without any hesitation or anything. Okay. Yeah. That makes 2050. I started my own company, Shrinivas Sugadhalaya. After it was Shrinivas Sugadhalaya, then I started with Shrinivas Sugadhalaya PNG LLP. Because of my hard work, my goal, and my passion and love for creating the finest perfumes. Perfumes
Has led to this one success, I think.
Has led my company and me to this success.
Always he believes that whatever the work we do diligently, we should deliver our duty, where without fear and favor. And he believes that the fruits automatically will follow him. The success will follow him. That is his this one principle in his life. He thinks that he always believes in one for all and all for one. That should make all the workers remember him forever. That more than a boss, he was a well-wisher. He was a guy. His father, I think so. They should believe in that. They should remember him in that way.
Most of the things.
But one thing, people, I think so, maybe he is not able to explain. He believes, whenever the situation arises, whether it is pandemic or anything, one should never give up trying. That is the main thing where success will follow us. That is his main belief. Whatever it is there is solution. We have to search. We should never give up the hope. Then the success will follow. We will achieve our goal. That is his belief.
Super. So it was great talking to you, Mr. Setty. For the viewers, we have with us, again, Mr. K.S. Balakrishna Shetty from Satya Incense. You heard him. That qualities of a leader starts at home by, working as an example. You need to create trust with your employees. You need to be passionate. You heard that with his passion, from a family business, he started another business, and with a passion and creativity and credibility that he created, today his brand is one of the topmost brands in the country. He's a father figure to all his employees. His employees look up to him for advices. He's also a hard taskmaster. That's why the brand has been built. So a leader essentially has to be a mixture of all qualities, and the most important quality, that's where most entrepreneurs fail, is that never give up. And you heard him say, you heard his wife say that, that intrinsic quality in every entrepreneur, in every leader of never giving up is what makes a successful entrepreneur.
Selected as Asia's most promising leader, Manish Kumar, Managing Director, Asia Pacific of Stratacache, has transformed the industry with pristine vision and precision implementation.
Okay, I can answer that question two ways, but it all comes back from comes down to the fact that our chairman, he has a very noble approach to business.
Okay.
So the easiest way I can explain, and I like to put it forward in a way, I've got a very holistic way of approaching business. I'm pro business, and I always say this to my team, that if they come to me that there is a business opportunity for a not-for-profit or education, I usually tell them that don't worry about the numbers. Just go and make sure the technology is available.
Okay.
The reason I make sure that culture, that information, that approach is there with the team is because the business I am in, the business we all are in at Stratacache is an evolving business, which means your perception of digital is different to mine, is different to the person who's outside your office. Is going to be different in India to China, and that's the beauty of this industry. So to uphold the brand, the brand's core values are to ensure we are transparent, we are honest, and we are making sure that the honesty is taken forward and it is transferred in every action of ours. Which means all my sales team, all my support, services, solutions team. I don't know about the rest, but I can assure you, I've got an integrity document which everybody signs when they join.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, the reason being, I want to make sure that that is one of the core values which we bring on the table. And we have been, and I have been as an individual recognized in different ways, you know, a pat on the back or at a forum, it has been mentioned that I like to do honest business. And the reason I'm almost completing 8 years in the organization is because that's exactly what the gentleman I report to and the owner of the business also carries with him, and that is honesty. It's not always about the numbers. Now, when you talk about the competition, any of the Stratacache employees across the region, they will go ahead and they will, if there is a talk of a competition, the training given to our team is we never talk bad about our competition.
Okay.
We highlight our features, our skill sets, our product, our technology. We were a CMS provider in 2016. In 2017, the core strategy has changed. The strategy is now we are a solution provider. We take turnkey solutions. In 2016, we had 50 projects of $50,000, $100,000 each. Today, I've got 20 projects, but each of those are worth 10 million, 12 million, 15 million. Because what we are giving to the customer is a single window solution.
Okay.
What I mean by that is the customer gives us one PO. Now it is in China, it is in Japan, it's in India, anywhere. We're doing we get one PO from the customer. That includes everything. It is the cabling, it's the recce, it's the site preparation, it's the screen, it's the hardware, it's the software, it's the support, it's the solutioning, it's the integration. Everything is done by us. Which means from a customer point, this is brilliant because if there is any issue, he raises the phone and calls one number. Okay, we are the global leader, but to enhance the product and the brand, today, what we have and I'm talking from an Asia Pacific perspective, we have gone ahead and we have created a dedicated office in all the key markets. So today, if you look at it, Stratacache, Scala have an office at all the prime locations in Japan, in Tokyo, in Beijing, in Shanghai. My factory is in Ningbo. My warehouse, I've got a warehouse in China. I've got a warehouse in Singapore, an office with 33 people in Singapore. I've got 2 offices, and the third is in the process in India with almost 60 staff. I have an office in Hong Kong. I have an office in Australia. So all my key markets have the presence. Now what we need to do is we need to ensure that the partners which we are working with, they are aligned to go with our go-to-market strategy. The last 18 months, what we have done is, last 18 months, I mean, you are aware that we didn't have much to do because till date, you know, in the last 16 months, I've not had one day where all my offices have been open in one day.
Okay.
Some days India is closed, some days Japan is closed, some days Singapore is closed, China is closed, Australia is closed. Now you can imagine that Sydney is closed. So, but what we have done is we have built the brand and we have adapted our strategy to the new normal.
Okay.
So we understood the challenge and we realigned ourselves so that we are not left behind when the economies open up, when the rebound happens.
Okay.
So today you can see, you can find us on digital marketing, on SEOs, on campaigns, on paid campaigns, on virtual events. We are almost present at all of those spaces. I'm an honest and a brave one.
Okay.
I will not shy away from taking the risk because I believe in my team. Again, it goes back to the lessons which our parents taught. You know, we need to make sure at any point in life we need to keep our head on our shoulder. It cannot grow big. Any leader who does not have his vision clear in himself will not be able to direct it to the team. So he has to be very, very clear of the vision and the direction of the company. And that needs to be, it needs to be ensured that that vision, that strategy, that version of what is going to be the next 12 to 18 it should trickle down to the team. It's about taking chances, it's about taking risks, but ensuring that the team understands that we are all in it and no one gets left behind.
Selected as India's inspirational leader by WCRC Leaders, Dr. Reji Thomas, founder of Technopilot and Group CTO of VIRENXIA, is an inspirational leader who is a true technology fortification maverick.
Actually, all along my military aviation career, I realized that mankind needed an external fabric, something special, something a change. The aviation career definitely helped me in understanding the needs of the country, about safety and humanity. But we always felt that there's something that needs to be done much more, that can influence society and human beings in a much larger manner. In making decisions, one has to be tends to be influenced by external forces as well as internal forces. At times, one of these influences may be stronger than the other, but understanding how each one works to impact the decision making will help us to build campaigns that are ultimately helping generate sales. Internal influences can include cognitive bias, which is an error in the decision making, but due to a combination of factors like the halo effect or functional fixedness, where one tends to see only an object for its internal use. We can also use learning memory as well as emotion versus logic. The external influences always include social, cultural, and environmental issues. Along my entrepreneurial journey, I've used the best of all such internal and external stimuli to make the best and most appropriate decisions for the company growth. Sure. So we have seen opportunities in both the consumer and the enterprise segment, and we are focusing on strengthening our channel ecosystem and increasing our presence in India across Tier 2 and Tier 3. And by 2021, we would like to be present in all channels of distribution to reach out to potential customers. And for that, we have partnering with managed service providers. And we in Technopilot predict that in the next 5 years, there will be no more operating systems to compromise. Operating systems would have gone away, and every laptop on the market would be running an emulator that functions as a startup program on embedded firmware. So these are our concepts. They are highly different from the conventional way one does business. And all these defense improvements would have not translated into a safer computing environment. So there are so many malicious attacks going on compared to 10 years ago. And improvements in cybercrime have so far completely overwhelmed the advances in cybersecurity defense. And we at Technopilot are developing the security systems of the future, embedded with multi-layer elliptic curve cryptography, nanotechnology, and dovetailed with the laws of quantum physics using esoteric laws, which are not much in vogue in the present time. And with more and more people and organizations getting to know about us and what we do, we strive hard to make the world a better place to reside and grow in, not only for us, but for all the generations to come. Resistance to change, I feel, has been the biggest bane affecting society. Everybody is comfortable in what they do. In fact, I remember about 20 years ago, when I tried to change things in the Indian Navy, people were scared of even touching the button of a computer. Yeah. But within a few months, they were all eager to come back to their offices and get on to business using computing power. That was the first starting catalyst for me, indicating that it could be irrespective of the age or the qualification of the employee. Resistance to change is something that is in the mind. One can create circumstances that can overcome this resistance to change. The world has gone through very, very troubled times in the last couple of months. Yeah. We at Technopilot have seen this as an opportunity in times of adversary defects. We have seen how we could contribute to society. What we have done is we have increased the pace of work, which makes all the offerings that Technopilot offers in terms of network security, societal fabric, in terms of providing leadership abilities, all these have heralded into products and translations, which will soon see the light of day. And we believe that by 2022, Technopilot will form as important in the life of people as an iPhone does in normal day-to-day life.
Really? That's great. So what are the philanthropic activities that you are personally involved in, or you make Technopilot be involved in?
Yes. So to society, I have always been incredibly lucky in my life that in every conceivable way, and I therefore owe it to society to pay it forward to help others. So I've realized that society needs a larger social fabric to see the larger picture towards alleviating pain and poverty in humanity. So keeping this in mind, when we originated Technopilot in 2013, the aim was to provide a large umbrella under which one can provide services of various nature forms. It could be from organizations to individuals to governments on how they can make a better difference to the lower strata in society. All organizations operate to make profit, and we at Technopilot help them to make that. Ours is the only company in the world which provides an umbrella of services that includes top-notch network security, business success coaching, energy healing services, which is backboned on our trademarked Divine Grid. And these are all the business essentials for any business to grow, to make profit, and in brand building.
And what's your perception of an empowered society? And how far do you think that your industry can contribute towards the same, and Technopilot as a company can contribute towards the same?
Sure. That's a lovely question. Technopilot specializes in harnessing the best of frontier technology. And we use all these advanced technologies like elliptic curve cryptography, nanotechnology, quantum physics, visualization, and law of attraction. What we do is we plant the seed into the client's business that exceptional leaders are manufacturers of success. And for this transformation to be lasting in our work, in our lives and world, We believe that change needs to happen with the understanding of our leadership authenticity. Now, that includes the integration of our personal values and networks and global awareness. In this time, the image that we would like to project is that of a company working hard with the technologies of the future, some of them which are not even being researched in any university till date, and using them to herald a new future for societal advancement, improved living and social conditions. More than profit making, we would like to be known as a company that can cause disruptive, radical, and cataclysmic changes in the way we now live, think, and do business.
We'll just give an ending note to this. Okay, it was a great session with Dr. Reji Thomas of Technopilot. WCRC is bringing this series to let you know how successful leaders think, how they build their organization as such. You heard Dr. Reji Thomas, who is an extremely successful entrepreneur from a naval background, that if you dream big and apply your mind, everything can happen.
Selected as India's most trusted CEO in the category of Ayurveda and alternate healthcare, Shibashis Chakrabarty of Ayur Indus has earned huge consumer trust and admiration through passionate consumer-focused leadership.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Chakrabarty. Welcome, firstly. Great to have you. First talk a little bit about your brand, and then we'll come to you as a leader.
Obviously. This brand, Indus Valley Ayurvedic Center, in short, is IPAC. It's there in the market for last 2 decades. It has been founded by Dr. Balakrishna for a long time, and with a vision to bring the Ayurveda in forefront of modern medicine. And this organization has been working very much on the ground to see that authenticity is there in every corner of the service. Business-wise, it is definitely doing nowadays very good. But initially, yes, it was a challenge to maintain the authenticity because that takes a lot of cost, and then to run the organization or the total business. And we cater here 65 countries patients, throughout last 2 decades, mostly from the Europe. If we talk France, Germany, then we have good flow from Canada, Australia, Japan. So, and now last 2 years within India, domestically we have expanded nicely, because as we don't have international flow, so we had to rework with our marketing strategy. Before it was global to local marketing, and now it has changed 360-degree local to global, and we have penetrated nicely in the domestic market. And Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, and Pune have been our very good market. People are repeatedly coming here because they see that doing advertisement is something, and after coming, when they see the authentic Ayurvedic approach and the ground level service, which is human to human service, they keep coming. So we are doing very good even in the pandemic year. Couple of them, yes. First and foremost thing is a leader need to understand the people. It is all about them, not about me. It's not about how good I am. It's all about how good they are. Whether it's my employees, our associates, understanding owners, very important. Those are promoters. Understanding customers. So understanding people, that qualities in terms, we can say people management, but understanding people's psychology, I would say in depth, is very important as a leader. Then all the policies made by him or all the decisions taken by him will fit in the right place. So that is the first and foremost, understanding people around with whom we are working. Second, always need to see 5 to 10 years ahead, because the challenge is there, the unknown things are there. So preparation now should start for that 5 to 10 years ahead market. Third would be any business structure should run with a solid bottom line, which is profitability. The leader must ensure that is there. Doesn't matter whatever we are doing, small scale business, big scale business, bottom line should be protected by leader, and the growing people. That is my natural tendency. That's why I say that growing people within the organization will take the organization and the leader very high. So how we invest time, money, energy on the people working for the company makes a difference. That is where leader should work more. First thing, situation definitely will be better. If we see the history also, it says it will be better. So first thing, I already have told this one, that getting the team and organization ready for to catch that opportunity. Because if we know 2 years, 3 years later, market is opening, so we need to know what are the most new opportunity will create in our field only. So getting team ready, product ready for that, catching that opportunity will be the key for success for the promoters and the CEO also, because that always anything goes down when they come up, create a new opportunity. You have seen in previous recession also, or any kind of this kind of situation, that opportunity comes, but are we ready to get the opportunity? Fine. So that's why we have to get ready with our team members, that after in 2024, what kind of Ayurveda people would love to look for, whether if it is a more product, so can we launch a new product. Right now we are looking into more urban centers, because what we have found in this time, then people definitely looking for treatments, but traveling is being little challenge. It may be in future people want to travel maximum 100-150 kilometers, so we are going more urban centers. We are about to open few more. So moment we have urban centers, it is easy for to catch that opportunity in that particular city or around the city, rather than waiting them to come to our center, flying 2 hours, 3 hours flight journey.
Okay, so my final question prompt actually to you. So finally, do we see an Indian Ayurvedic global brand internationally from you?
Obviously, we are already international, but we were so far working on a very ground level, but now we are definitely coming up with a bigger projects. So definitely, I hope Mr. Ghosh will meet in a couple of years and we can celebrate what you said right now.
Absolutely. Okay, great talking to you, Shibashis. Wonderful talking, and have a great future. We wish the brand all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. Have a nice day. Bye.
GM Modular has been selected as Asia's most promising brands from India. One of the finest brands in Asia in electrical products, GM Modular is quickly taking the pole position.
Yeah. The five most success formulas for brand is basically the extensive R&D. You know, the R&D is the most important factor at GM. We do have our R&D team, and we invest a lot in the R&D and the robust team, and the team always the team is always working for the continuous development of new products and with the new technologies and all. The second one is the team of experts. At GM, we invest in the team basically, you know, so that we have the right team for each and every department. Constant innovation, the core mantra is the innovation, and our team is continuously learning and trying to adapt to the new technologies, and by developing such products which are very new and which are very for the first time in the world. And the fourth one is very important, is the customer-centric approach. At GM, every product, I mean, GM, the quality is the utmost priority for all of us. Each and every product goes through a stringent quality control by maintaining the highest quality standards. The core mantra is basically the amalgamation of design and the market requirement, and by designing such innovations which are very new to the world, and that's what we work 24 hours here. GM has become a very leading brand in India, and we have started our network in Middle East, Africa, and Spain, and through Spain we are going to cater to the various requirements of the European market. Also, we are planning to start our new line of vertical of business, which is basically fans and appliances. Last 2 years, couple of years, we had launched our LED lighting and fans, and this year we are planning to launch our new products in appliances and kitchenware. And to meet the global requirement, we are expanding our production capabilities in other parts of the country.
Market.
The team strongly believes in studying the human behavior and its needs, and accordingly design those products which are basically very simpler and which makes your life simpler and better. In last few years, last couple of years, we have launched our LED lighting business, which has, I think, almost 3 years from now. And last 2 years back, we launched a new vertical in fans and appliances. And this year, we are launching our new product, which is basically appliances and the kitchenware. And our business network, we are trying to expand. We already expanded our business in the Middle East, Nepal, Africa, and Spain. And this year, we are planning to start our business in UK and USA. So that is the way we want to be global this year, at least by being in the country for at least by 2-3 more countries coming year. Yeah. I think to the consumer point of view, I think the consumer of the country has taken our brand and accepted our brands by its quality and the design that we have made. And we still feel that we need to keep on looking for new technologies by adapting them and making the products which are very user friendly, and by making the life more simpler and better. So our designers are working throughout, looking for something which is new for the first time, and something new for the first time in the world. And that's the way that we want to go. I think the brand was incorporated in the year 2002, and today it has been accepted as the leading brand of the country. And we take pride in ourselves by being the leader in the country, and also by getting our product accepted in the Middle East, then in Africa, then in Spain. And I think that's a big pride that we take in for our products. The challenges were basically to design something. The basic goal was to have something very different, very, very new, and to get that into the working mode. I think the first subject, we always think that whatever we design should be very new and it should be for the first time, and our design and the innovations should be something very different from others. There were a lot of challenges in making those products, because making the product and designing the concept of the product is quite easy, but by bringing them into the reality, it takes a lot of hard work to make them into the real one. So our vision is to basically take the brand from where it is today to take the brand global, and that is the pride for us, for all of us, for all the shareholders. And I think we are on the right track, and being a global, presenting globally, I think that will give a lot of pride to all of us here. Yeah, the philosophy is quite simple, that if you work and work according to the focus that you have in mind, I think the things are not difficult to achieve. There's nothing very impossible in life, only you need to give a try to it. And I think we have been working the same way. The difficult jobs are made very simpler to look at, and that's what we work on it. We always see that things are not difficult, the things are not impossible at all, if we really have that thing in our mind. In the pandemic, I think the company geared up and they understood the pandemic very earlier, and they started designing those products which were more for the useful in the corona scenarios. So we developed products like the mask, then sanitizer boxes and all that. And they were distributed across the country for the people who were in need of those products at that time. And they were available with all our distributors across the country. and we did take participate in the PM Care by donating Indian 1 crore rupees in the PM Care Fund, and also in the Chief Minister's Relief Fund, which was around 25 lakhs. And at various state government, we try to give our best to support the people who were in need for that. Also, last year, I think this year this year we had an activity called Mission Sahayata. This was for our fellow electrician, our community, basically to give them a grocery for 1 month across Maharashtra and Kerala, and we were successful in donating a 1 month grocery to the people in need, to around almost 20,000 electricians. Also, we were a part of Mission Zindagi, where our team was involved in giving the updates of the hospitals, available of the hospital bed, the concentrators, the oxygen concentrator, other information. I think pretty well we were involved in that time when the business was really down. So basically, the GM, basically we call it as a Guru Mantra. So that is how the GM was incorporated. So it is good morning, Guru Mantra, God made, you can call it anything, but basic was the Guru Mantra that we thought should be a good name for all of us. Yeah, according to me, I think if you have your goals set in your mind and if you have your dream to do something in life, I think it is the way, the track that you need to follow, and the success is inevitable. I think you're going to get your success if you're focused and you're determined to get to your goals. I think that's a big thing that everyone should have in mind, not to get disappointed by small failures, because the failures are one step towards the success. And this is what the entire team of GM has been doing. I think everyone is, we went through a lot of failures, but I think it gave a chance and it gave a new learning to all of us to how to come out of this and come out successfully, in fact, so that you have your dream and goal achieved.
Okay. Great talking to you. For the viewers, we have had with us Mr. Jain, CEO of GM Modular, a very successful company. He himself is a very successful entrepreneur and the CEO. You heard him how GM Modular has grown with its Guru Mantra, its core values, with great product. And as a leader, you heard that, especially in these tough times, it's important to be patient. And if you have your goals and your mission set right, you will always achieve success in life. It's important to be patient, it's important to be responsible, and it's important to take risks. Thank you very much, Mr. Jain, for joining with us. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Abhinav. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.